Hello and welcome back, gentle folks. Did you miss me? Well, yes, it has been some time and I intend to upload a lot more, but I thought I'd do a bit of an update and talk to you guys of a topic that was actually inspired by a fellow YouTuber. And I'm sure it's a topic that a lot of you guys have thought about because who does not think about money? Yes, today's topic is about art and money, and perhaps why a lot of times you only see very young artists on the internet versus us oldies right here. Over 30, us old millennials. Yes, a lot of us are not just young 20 somethings because that's Gen Z. And Gen Z is probably hustling doing something else. But why is that? What is going on? There's been several thoughts and observations. All I can do is just share with you what I have personally experienced and what probably you guys have experienced. So let me know down below in the comments, maybe your experiences, your thoughts. I do reply to them. And sometimes we might end up finding a way to go around the issues that we face. So, why do you not see, people older than young 20 somethings? Well, the biggest thing is our time is just taken up by a lot of other responsibilities, and those responsibilities requires us to make a certain amount of money per year. And well, when you have to choose between making more money versus doing an artwork for yourself, you usually have to pick the former and not the latter, simply because most of us aren't rich and we're not trust fund babies. And I feel like almost always trust fund babies usually aren't going to be like full on artists to begin with. And no, I'm on my own. I'm pretty much single. Not to say that if you're with a couple that it makes it less valuable, but yeah, there's just so much of my time. I personally got family that I need to take care of, and I'm sure as you get older, you realize your parents aren't kicking as hardy as they used to be, and you need to take care of them. Then you need to help out with other family members, and then you have your own personal things. You're starting to get to that point where you definitely cannot have all-nighters. I know for a fact that I need a lot more sleep than I used to, and that there's other things that comes into the factor that you start to appreciate resting a lot more. You start to need to rest a lot more, and then you just start to pick up other things that may take up your creative time. Another thing is that you might actually be doing what you were planning to do and you're just not into showing things on the internet. Because let's just be real, right, guys? I'm a small YouTuber and I'm an even smaller Instagrammer. And there comes to a point where do you really want to spend your time constantly posting things when you could just be working on your art and be okay with it? Or you could be working on your art and it's just doing well in a medium that's not on the internet, because there is life outside the computer. There is life outside the digital realm. There's plenty of artists that I've bumped into, barely have an online presence, but well, up until the situation of us locking down, was just doing so well at conventions. There's artists that have a very good email list. I unfortunately don't have that. Maybe I should develop it. But yeah, there are just numerous of other avenues that you just don't see on the internet. And not only do I, sometimes post on the internet, I should be more regular really, but I also have an art day job. And after spending 8+ hours, 5 days a week, and sometimes more, if you're taking up some extra side gigs, the last thing you want to do is to draw something more. You are just mentally, well, I am just mentally burnt out. What else is also the issue? Well, sometimes you're physically can't do it. Like, my hands hurt. Sometimes I got to wear special gloves to go through, and constantly doing the same motion over and over and over again can actually damage your hands. So you physically need a break. And we only have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you're working full time, if you're taking care of family, if you're taking care of errands, if you're doing other kind of business, you only have so much time to do everything else. And it's just difficult to actually find time to do even more art on top of the art that you do for work. So yeah, you might be wondering what happened to all the older artists, or do artists just stop drawing? And it's not that we stop drawing. It's just that we don't need to be on the internet to validate ourselves as much. unless it's as a business or if we have enough numbers for it to be a business, that there are other things to pursue. It's not that I stopped drawing. It's not that I cannot afford to draw, because there's a lot of almost pretty much free materials or very affordable materials, and even things like Crayola markers, as I've seen on the internet, and of course with my own videos, that you can make artwork from very cheap materials. It's not always the tool, but it's usually the artist behind the tool. And after a certain point, maybe you want to level up, but you really don't need anything expensive. So it's not necessarily that. But what's the biggest thing, and that's something that if you haven't discovered, you will discover, is that more than money, time is invaluable. We just don't have the time. And it's not, oh, I'm being lazy, or I'm procrastinating, or I'm just having an art block. It's just I have a lot of ideas I really want to show you guys. But really, it's just I don't got time. And when I do have, air quotes, time, I need to rest. I want to be able to consume art that's out there and kind of, refuel my brain. I barely am, if ever, on Instagram. I'm only using Instagram pretty much to post at this point. I don't have time to really look through Instagram. And yeah, I'm going to start on TikTok, but lately, very much recently, I mean, for everyone, right? You guys are going through some stuff too. We're all just trying to make ends meet and get to a point where we can take care of ourselves. And I'd say my generation, the millennials, and the generation next, Gen Z, uh, we got quite a hell of a mountain to climb over, because things are real serious. Okay, so I don't want to get too dark, but yeah, in case you were wondering, where have all the older artists gone through, we just either are working in the art field already, are posting our stuff in the real world and getting a good traction and a good audience there, or we just have other stuff to do in our lives. It's not all about the internet. It's not all about Instagram, and it's not all about Facebook and TikTok and all those stuff. We're probably just somewhere else, because quite frankly, a lot of social media make it really difficult for you to not only grow, but to even keep up with it. And if you're not careful, the little time that you have gets eaten up by useless things. So, anyhow, guys, I hope you enjoy. I kind of was drawing this away from any place where I could record the artwork. It's some digital artwork. If you're interested in me going through a bit of a process of my digital coloring and talking through it, I have all sorts of styles. I'm always experimenting. But yeah, let me know. And again, let me know your thoughts about art and money. And by all means, ask your questions, ask your requests, and let me know what you'd like to see in the next video.